From $200 to $200,000. Was Bored Ape Yacht Club the greatest investment of all time? We're gonna talk to 5 people right now who bought Bored Ape Yacht Club early, and they're gonna tell us about their life-changing stories. So let's jump into it right now. How I bought a Bored Ape NFT. How did you get your Bored Ape?
I got into the space in last February, and one of my friends actually called me at 4 a.m. and he woke me up and he was like, hey, listen, because we were staying up on Clubhouse for like hours. We were falling asleep in like the smoke sesh rooms, NFT space rooms, so it was kind of nothing to have a really like screwed up schedule. So he called me at 4 a.m. and I was like, hey, what's going on? He's like, listen, I'm sorry, I know you're sleeping, but you need to get up right now. And he's like, you have to get one of these NFTs. And I was like, okay. So I was scrambling, and I went to Mint, and remember, Bored Ape didn't sell out right away. But of course, when I go in, since all our friends, like we kind of work together on Clubhouse, once we see something, we all just like go buy it just to support each other or hang out in a room with the PFP. So I bought it I tried to buy it around 4 a.m. and actually sold out. And I went on to secondary and I picked one up right away. Like I was so like, I don't know which one to get. So I ended up buying this one, the pink ape, because I love the colors that were super vintage. It was like soft, like pastels and greens and stuff like that. But yeah, it was just one of my friends. Who's been in the space for a long time, and I was like, cool, another thing with the friends. And it was just something to be a part of, originally, like just our friends doing something and us like laughing about it or just being a part of the community that was really valuable.
I wish I got 4 a.m. calls like that. I usually get them, they're more disturbing. They usually cause a ruckus. How did you buy your Bored Ape?
I had been on Twitter for a long time, but I didn't really connect Twitter with crypto or NFTs or anything. And when I finally did that, it was I think in May of 21. And I started noticing like, immediately that like I kept seeing these monkey pictures everywhere. Like anybody that had like a lot of like content, feedback on their tweets, a lot of these people either had CryptoPunks or these monkeys. So I was like, all right, I might as well try and get one of these things. So at the time, I think there were like 1.5, maybe 1.6, the floor, 1.5, 1.6 ETH. I bought one, which is the one that I have now, my PFP, number 4674. I got it for 1.7 ETH in June. And then I actually bought 3 more because somebody put them up. This was all before the collection got verified. So now like, you see an OpenSea, then like a day or two of a collection launching, they get that little blue check mark. They didn't have the blue check mark yet for the apes. So somebody put up a big Bored Ape for like a crazy, ridiculously low price. Like the floor was like 170, put up for like 1.1. And I jumped on it, and the same person did it like 3 or 4 times, and they were all fakes. And I spent like almost 4 ETH, I think, on fake apes. The same day I bought my legit ape, which stings because I definitely would have bought at least one more, obviously real ape had I known I was trying to. And, had I done that, it would have been a lot different. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still very fortunate. But
how did you buy your Bored Ape?
So about a year ago, I actually got my Bored Ape a few weeks after they were minted. And I would do my degen mode. I would go into OpenSea and click on stats and just see what was trending during the day and what were the latest sales. And I happened to see these Bored Apes, and they were selling for around an ETH at the time. And I just liked the way that they looked. I was new to the NFT space. One of the main NFTs that I had gotten into prior to it was Decentraland, wearables and land. So I didn't really get into the PFP NFTs yet, but when I saw the Bored Apes, I was like, wow, this looks cool. Like this is something that I would want to be as my PFP. This is something that I would probably want to hang up in my own home, as like a piece of art, or just something that just resonated with me in some sort of way. So my first Bored Ape was actually, I got in at 2 ETH. And it's not my main ape. It's something that I got because, again, I just liked the aesthetics of it. It looks like a Julius Caesar ape, essentially. But what I did was I went to the collection. I sorted by price low to high. I hit buy now. And as I scroll down, the first one that like made my heart skip a beat essentially is the one that I managed to get, thankfully. A few weeks after getting that first one, throughout that time frame. I jumped into Discord. I saw the bathroom wall. I met a bunch of the mods, and I really got a good feeling from the community, you know, just being in the Discord and like sharing memes and going back and forth with like Ben and Herb and all of them. It was just really fun. And eventually I said, hey, you know, the price of these is skyrocketing. And I didn't buy it because I knew the price was going to go up. I bought it because I just liked, again, the way that the aesthetics were. So for my second Bored Ape, I was like, listen, I gotta get one with like a merch like hat or something with the Bored Ape Yacht Club logo on it. And it was really funny because as I was scrolling through all of the ones that had the logo on them, they were getting sniped. And the price of Bored Apes was now like 5 or 6 each. So we're already at 3x from when I initially got in, and I'm just sitting there scrolling. I find one I like, I try to move over some ETH, and during the time frame it gets sniped, and it's just the worst feeling to be sitting on a page of an NFT that you really want, and you got your ETH in your wallet, you hit refresh and it's just gone. So at that point the FOMO really started kicking in. Even though I already had an ape, I was like, I gotta get another one, I gotta get another one. So I spent about 30 minutes after that just, again, scrolling through, and I landed on my forever ape, which is ape number 115. And it was perfect. Like, it had the red eyes, it had the cigar, it had the merch hat. It was like the smoking ape, you know. It was something that I thought was just so like on point when it came to the aesthetics. So I scooped that one up, and everything from there was just a dream, you know. Like, Bored Ape Yacht Club literally changed my life with the way that the community, you know, incorporated itself, the airdrops that they did. You know, the dogs came, the serums came, and it just started to unfold. And then of course you had the first Ape Fest, and that was just an experience. And to be able to like have all that and meet these celebrities and just go out and party and pay nothing to do it, just for having this ape in your wallet, I mean, it was just a game changer for me. So I'm diamond hand Yuga for life, man. I don't care if these things go to zero. I still think that they just bring me so much happiness and value, you know. Like, I know what they are and what they've done for me, so it's already paid itself back infinite times at this point.
Okay, Illa the producer, how did you get your Bored Ape?
I got my Bored Ape in last August. To be honest, it was funny because it was right after the crypto crash of last summer, and I was fudding NFTs. I was fudding the hell out of them. I'm like, it's a scam, because I was pissed. I was coping because my portfolio was down like 50% or more, actually. So I saw Steph Curry and Visa bought a CryptoPunk on the same day. So that was my signal, like, okay, this shit isn't going anywhere. Somebody from the culture got one, and an institution got a CryptoPunk. These NFTs aren't going anywhere. So, and it just so happened that weekend was the weekend that Mutants came out. So I jumped in, bought 3 Mutants, and then that same week I bought my first Bored Ape.
So how did you buy your Bored Ape?
Okay, so my Bored Ape comes with a bit of a story. I got into NFTs in like April of last year or whatever, and I was messing around with Top Shot. Did that. Then I was in a Zed run. I got a decent horse in Zed run, which just gave me a little more, you know, confident in like the NFT crypto market or whatever, because I had a horse that was at the time, you know, printing ETH. So I'm like, all right, whatever, these, you know, monkey JPEGs are 0.3. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, that's like $1,000 or whatever. Like, maybe I can spin it, but like, that's, you know, pretty crazy. So I just started getting involved in other projects, and like one of my big projects that I hit on early was like Ghost. I was really involved with Ghost, and there was a nice little small community with like Franklin, The Economist, Newbie, like all those other people, Janet, you know, it's a lot of really smart people. And I got my Ghost, or my Demon, it was Demon number 36. I won it in a meme contest. So I made a pretty dope meme. I guess it made the creator laugh. And then from there, like, I sold that for like 5 ETH after holding it for like a month. Was able to catch apes at like 2.5, got 2, you know, like everybody else. I rode one for a while, paper-handed one, sold it with my dog. And then, you know, I was able to hold on to my, like, you know, quote unquote forever ape that I have. And yeah, it was just, you know, almost like luck, you know what I mean? Like, it was just a bunch of dominoes fell in the right way where I was able to, you know, catch those apes. Because once they got to like 2.5, like it was out of the realm of, me just, oh, fuck it, I'm going to throw 10 grand in. Like, I mean, I had it, but I didn't really believe in it that much, you know what I mean? And I was able to like flip up from another project that I really believed in with creators that I trusted. And I was able to use those funds to get involved with a new project that ended up being, like family and crazy shit. And it just took off, man. So it was just a blessing to be able to, meet all those guys, Gong Yang, Franklin, and just kind of like get some, NFT mentors from people who ended up being huge. Like I had no idea that Franklin would be this, or like The Economist would be going crazy with Pixelball, or just even Newbie and all those guys. Like they're all doing amazing things. And just being able to meet those people and like network, really allowed me to expand my horizons and, be one of the few 10,000 lucky monkey JPEGs.
The other question I've been asking is like, so has this been life-changing for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So originally, what's funny is like I stumbled into the space because I was like, what? Like I worked in yachts for a really long time, and I felt super isolated traveling, the whole South Florida job, right? A lot of
it's ironic as well because of the yacht club of the Bored Apes. So
right. Yes, you're right.
I do watch Below Deck as well, if that counts for anything.
I promise like the lifestyle with me on the boats is not like that, but that's definitely a thing. So yeah, like originally I really was just looking to be a part of a community because I was isolated traveling a lot. And I actually stumbled onto Clubhouse, and then I also at the same time I created a vision board, right? I believe in those things, and I was like, what do I want to do this year? What are things that I've been interested in since I was a kid? And it was always being a part of the creative world. So it just kind of all fell together organically because I was in like meditation rooms, and then I was like, oh, what's this NFT stuff? At the same time, I was stumbling onto Nifty Gateway's Instagram, and I was looking at these artists, and I was like, how do I purchase? So it just kind of all like fell together where I needed community. So that was life-changing for me with all the people that have come into my life. And then the organic movement with Bored Ape, because none of us had this, nobody knew what was going to come within a year and a half. It's been very crazy, very life-changing. I mean, the ape coin changed a lot of lives. Just holding an ape in itself basically helped us, people that didn't have a business, be able to have kind of like a foot up to start something. But yeah, I think for me, the big part was the community, right? Because that helps you build or want to build and stay creative. The ape coin was huge. And the events that they've created for us all to come together and stay together.
Has this been life-changing for you? I mean,
for sure. It's so in my day-to-day, I own my own business, and after COVID, things have not been the same business-wise for me. It's taken a big hit. It hasn't been able to kind of bounce back. Honestly, because I have my ape and kind of what it's afforded me. Otherwise, I kind of don't sweat it as much, nearly as much as I would have before. Like I would have been in like big trouble before,
yeah,
and it's definitely helped me as far as that goes. And getting on as early as I did, like I can't see how anybody could call it. I mean, unless you were very, very well off going into it, like it's truly life-changing. Between all the drops that people got along the way, like you got dogs, and then you got serums, and then you got land, and you got tokens, and it was like, what? This is like the gift that like keeps on giving. Like my one buddy I told about it, like I tried to get him on early, maybe like when it was like 2, maybe 3 ETH, I was trying to get him to buy, and he didn't. And now he's kind of looking at me. He actually went with me to Ape Fest, and he's kind of looking at me like, man, this is pretty amazing, and it is. It's like, it's truly just a feeling of I don't know, you got one. It's been amazing, like the best investment I think ever. Like, yeah, it's got to be like only maybe between like Bitcoin and then like the Louisiana Purchase. Like, you know what I mean? Like as far as like the best investment.
It's up there, up there for sure.
Yeah, it's been really cool watching. I definitely do notice that some of the people kind of take advantage of the clout that the ape kind of gives them. Like, hey, I got this now, and I'm gonna front run this project, or I'm gonna, promote this project or whatever it is, kind of for like their own benefit. But I don't know, man. I try to just lie back in the cut and kind of just watch and go from there. It's my first ever NFT though was a punk, not a CryptoPunk, because I was too cheap to buy one, so I bought a crypto skull for like 0.001 or something like that, like nothing. And then one day, like 6 months ago, Gary V put out one tweet about him. I wake up to all these wheat offers for like 2 or 3 ETH. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, I forgot I even had.
Did you sell the crypto skull?
I had bought 3 of them initially, and I sold one. I still have the other two. The people that minted the apes, though, I didn't mint mine, obviously, but the people that minted the apes, like, truly life-changing. I mean, you're talking about spending $200 and, like, just the gains that kind of came from that are incredible. Like, it doesn't make sense, you know, especially when you look at the economy and the way things are going with the stock market, investments and bonds, and it's like, you did what? Like, it doesn't, you know. But it's also, to be honest, there was also a sense of like, can this party really go on forever? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how long is this whole operation going to keep going on? Like, not specifically just for the apes, but like just kind of with things around the space in general, you know, with like token drops and that kind of thing. It's like, wait, you guys are just like printing money. This is kind of weird. I will say, last week I was at Ape Fest, or 2 weeks ago at Ape Fest.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there front row with some, you know, standing there front row right against the railings with some guy I never met before. We were just BSing. And then out of the stage, 10 feet from me, run out Snoop Dogg and Eminem. And it's like, not a lot of people could say that. They're like, oh yeah, I was sitting right there when they came out. Like, I live on Long Island. I had a house that overlooked the Long Island Sound from my bedroom. It's insane. And 2 years ago, I was living in my parents' house, working on a farm for food. And then a year ago, I got my ape. And then this year, I'm in good shape going to Ape Fest party with Eminem. So it's like, they're pretty cool, you know?
Tell us the reason why your ape filter has a banana instead of a cigar.
Yeah. So Snapchat filter, this is actually a Snapchat AR filter. So I'm using the Snap Camera application on the computer, but it doesn't let you use a cigar. They can't have tobacco in the AR filters. So when Mo Pete was making me the filter, he was like, you know, what do we do to replace it? Do we just leave the cigar out? So he ended up doing an exploded banana, which is perfect in my opinion. So I was like, listen, I'll rock with it. It represents the cigar in some sort of way. So Snapchat let that go through. And it was literally because of their policies that you can't have a cigar or tobacco representation in a filter, which to me is crazy. It's like, I'm using it, you know, personally, you know, like what's it have to do with being on the platform? So had to swap the cigar for a banana.
Well, so did you end up selling any of your apes?
No, I just I accrued my apes. I held on to my mutants.
Bro.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So the inception price of 2 ETH and 6.9 ETH were insane. You know, the offers I've gotten an offer for 160 ETH on my main ape, you know, and that was when ETH was like 3K. So just crazy numbers to think that it goes from, you know, more than 100x at that point.
Are you like working your Bored Ape into like other businesses, or like you're producing? Like talk like how has the Bored Ape actually changed your life or changed your business?
It's dope because one of the first things that struck my interest was the fact that I can get this IP and use it how I chose to. Like, there's nothing that's more amazing to me than having that power, especially as a creative. That's why I think a lot of producers and artists from the music industry are gravitating towards Bored Apes, because not only do you get the IP, but for the first time when you get this IP, it's attached to a brand that's a $4 billion brand that's constantly building and adding value to the IP they let you use, which to me is the most insane business model still to this day. So, and how it changed my life is, man, like I'm a music producer. I've worked pretty extensively with a ton of artists, but really with Eminem, who's like one of the biggest artists in the world. I've done over a half a dozen songs with Eminem.
Oh, damn.
And I've never met him until 2 weeks ago at Ape Fest, or a week ago at Ape Fest. So that's how Bored Ape I can literally say it was a life-changing moment for me, because Ape Fest and my Bored Ape enabled me to meet somebody that changed my life in the Web 2 space and in the music world. And we're both Bored Apes, and he came to Ape Fest to release his video with Snoop as a Bored Ape. They're both using their IP. So it's one of the most amazing communities, one of the best projects ever.
Oh, the best project ever, for sure. That's a dope ass story. Did the Bored Ape change your life in any other way?
Yeah, I definitely think the Bored Ape changed my life. I mean, I had just graduated college like a year and a half before, so I was in the real working force for like a year and a half. I went to school for econ, so like I was really into like stock market, finance, all that kind of stuff. And then just like it really like in a sense opened my eyes to crypto, you know what I mean? Because like once you get involved in such a powerful community, like you have no choice but to like rapidly start learning if you're not already involved in crypto. Like if you're not already an expert, you don't understand like, you know, the basics of not your keys, not your crypto, from the phishing links to all that stuff. Like once that money magnifies it all, you know what I mean? So it's like it really makes you get on your toes and makes you get out there and learn. That was like life-changing for sure, just like learning about crypto as a whole, because it allowed me to, you know, expand and make money in other things. And then I felt like I always had like an anchor. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, well, if every other JPEG goes to 0, the monkey probably won't. So I'll just like, offload and like kind of like plan around that. And it just gives you, a little bit of financial freedom for someone who's like only, 26. It's really cool to be able to do that and have this kind of freedom. And especially in this market, like now when everything's down with like the launch of ApeCoin and all that stuff, like it just gives you, a little bit of security and a little bit of freedom to kind of like, mess around and chase other dreams and stuff, which is really cool.
My parents' inception into the Bored Ape Yacht Club was actually just a crazy story. So you remember when the other side mint was coming up, but no one knew what the KYC was for? Everyone was just KYCing their friends and family, just trying to get, all those accounts set up. So I had my mom KYC a wallet, and my dad had bought ApeCoin at around $6 or $7 at the time. And when they announced that it was for the other side, I moved the ApeCoin into a MetaMask wallet, the one that was KYC'd by my mom. And I got ready to mint these other side deeds in my wallet and their wallet. So when the mint dropped, I set my GWAY at like 4,500. That was from my own wallet, and the transaction got stuck. So I was like, how am I going to get my parents into this mint? So the numbers ticking away, the mints are going, and I said, I'm going to dedicate 4,500 GWAY to one transaction in their wallet, instead of making it so there's 2 transactions going through. And bumped it up to 4,500, hit the mint button, it minted right through, and I got them another side deed. But it wasn't until a day and a half later that I decided to look at their wallet. So during this day and a half time, I'm like, I claim my 4 deeds and there's no coda. So I'm FOMOing on the fact that I don't have a coda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going crazy. So I actually spent like 36 ETH on a coda. And I was like, okay, awesome. I got my coda ready to go. And at this time it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, hey, let me check my parents' wallet. I totally forgot that I had minted them something. So I go to their wallet, I go to reveal it, and it's a freaking mega coda. And that was their inception into the Bored Ape Yacht Club, was by minting them this mega coda. And I'm just sitting there like, my mind is blown. I'm like, should I call them? It's 5 o'clock in the morning. What should I do? And I sent them a text message. My mom called me up immediately. I don't know what she was doing up so early, but she was like, what happened? She's like worried, like I'm texting you in the middle of the night, like what's going on? And I told them the deal. I said, listen, there's 100,000 deeds. There's 10,000 codas, and there's 100 mega codas. You guys got a mega coda. She woke up my dad. My dad's freaking out. And they were like, we're diamond handing this thing. Like since they've seen me in the Bored Ape Yacht Club the whole time, they're like, yo, this is it. Like we're keeping it. And it's amazing to have them as their first taste of the blockchain, their first taste of Yuga, to come in with a mega coda. So
holy shit. Congrats to them. Oh my, I love that. I love that, because I'm sure they're paying attention to Yuga and stuff like that now. And
my dad was like, he was YouTubing and Googling and doing all the research on Bored Apes and codas, and it was just crazy because he loves it, and actually had the ISM toys, the kid that makes those those toys of people's Bored Apes and stuff. He made a golden mega coda for them, which, shout out to him, it came out amazing. And I think they're really going to hold on to this thing for a very long time. So it's really happy to have like family come into the Yuga Labs ecosystem and benefit from it. So a lot of people don't realize that like more than 90% of people that have Bored Apes, like they started off with like an ETH to their name. They didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars coming in and or a backing by like a VC or anything. Like we're just normal people, and we got in early and we believed in it, and to be able to take those funds that we got together and get them to the point where we're still holding on to these things and seeing more value in holding on to them than selling them, then it's like a true appreciation for this NFT and for the space itself. We're not just sitting here going, oh yeah, we're gonna flip this, we're gonna flip that. A lot of us don't have that mindset. A lot of us didn't come from places that we were able to easily just dump money into an NFT. So to see where it's gone and to see that Yuga keeps expanding their ecosystem is amazing. And just wanted to give a shout out to everybody in the yacht club. Whether you were there from the beginning or whether you just got in last week, we encourage people to come into the Discord. And even if you don't have a Bored Ape, just come in and vibe. No one's going to say, oh, you're not allowed to be here. We all want to be inclusive. We all want to be part of it. So that's the first thing I tell people when they're stepping into the space. Like, jump in the Bored Ape Discord, see what the vibe is about. If you're not in the Discord, it's like being a jeweler and not following the price of gold. Like, you even though you don't own it, you might as well see like what the discussion's about, what a real community is like, and what they're doing differently, because everyone's trying to replicate them, and it's very hard to do.
And that's the video for today, gang. Hope you enjoyed those stories. It's crazy. I mean, I literally think Bored Ape Yacht Club, if you put top 10 investments of all time, Louisiana Purchase. I think Google bought Instagram for like a flat $1 billion, and then buying Bored Ape at $200. Crazy investments there. Make sure to like and comment if you guys like this style of content. Trying to do like less alpha and more just stories we can enjoy. So if you like this content, guys, make sure to remember to say gang.